And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, May 22nd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome on Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend, and we welcome you to our program. We're glad to have Don Hamlet here, as usual, for a Monday morning to talk about Absolute Kubota. Don, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You doing okay?
I am great.
Yeah. Looking forward to a great week.
It's going to be a great week. It's going to be beautiful weather. It'll be a good time to come out and do some shopping.
Oh, 1506 West Main, Absolute Kubota. Don is the chief salesperson there.
I try to be.
And sells those Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, a lot of different things that go with tractors and implements and lawn mowers and recreational terrain vehicles, all that.
Everything you just named there. I like to go do a little business stuff here first. It is a holiday weekend coming up. Just need to remind everybody we are open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. This Saturday, we will be open from 8 till noon, but we will be closed on Monday for Memorial Day weekend.
You get a holiday as well.
Yes, sir.
And we will be closed here. The station will be on here, but our program will not be broadcast.
Do you want me to call you from?
No.
I'll be camping. If you want me to call you Monday morning, we'll have a little conversation about the Reds baseball game or something.
I don't plan to be here
Okay.
next Monday morning.
Me neither.
All right.
And we'll be on the
So
campground.
we'll make up for it today.
There we go.
What's on your mind?
Oh, man, we just still got some great deals going. Like you can get an L2501 tractor for zero down, 0% interest for 72 months. Any type of implements, a brush cutter, post hole diggers, box scrapers, grader scrapers, pallet forks. You can pair any of those items with that and do it for zero down, 0% for 72 months. It's just great tractor packages that we can put together for you. Lawnmowers, we've got everything in stock. Those RTVs you were talking about, I know in the past year or so, those have really been scarce all over the country. Mm-hmm. We actually have a few right now, some different models. We have one of the XG850s back in stock. That's the RTV side-by-side. It'll go about 40 miles an hour. So, you got different things like that. We'd love to have people come in, take a little test ride, and see if that's something you'd like to have.
People ever race those RTVs?
We kind of play with them there on the lot a little bit every now and then, if that counts. I'm not sure. You get something new in, everybody wants to try it out, all the guys in the shop.
You don't want Matt to catch you doing that.
Oh, he might be out there, too. You never know. Who knows?
Well, they are such a versatile vehicle. You can use them strictly for work, you can use them strictly for recreation, but most people have a combination going.
They do. I'd say the number one use for a lot of people is either sports, hunting type sports, or just riding, checking fences and checking on their cattle and stuff. I want to remind everybody, typically, my whole life, the people I've always talked to this coming weekend is when everybody starts harvesting their hay.
Uh-huh.
If you're doing anything like that this week, and we've got hay equipment. We made sure we had disc mowers set up. We got rakes set up. We got balers all set up, ready to go. You can come in, pick them up, and get to work with them right now.
Well, according to the forecast and what they're saying, maybe a slight shower somewhere today, but for the rest of the week, probably going to be no rain. I imagine there's going to be some hay cut.
I think it will be too. We were coming back from my daughter's house yesterday, and I was noticing in all the fields they've really perked up the last couple of weeks with the warm weather and the rain that we had.
Yep.
Hay's growing. It looks like it's about ready to come down to me.
And there's a lot of hay cut in Wilson County, isn't there?
All over. Yes, sir. It's a big deal. Even if you only have, say, 10 mama cows, in the winter months, you've got to have some hay set aside, just in case,
Well, you've got everything when it comes to hay equipment. You got everything that you would need,
Anything you would need to get hay on the ground and get it put up, we've got it sitting there ready to go.
including the tractor, of course, to drive the implement.
That's correct. We've got tractors to drive it. We've got bale spears, the disc mowers, the tedders, the rakes, the balers. We've got it all sitting there ready to go.
And in addition to that, you have service after the sale. You've got a great service department and parts and service.
Parts and service.
That all plays a
We've
great
got
role.
both of those. We sit here every week, Coleman. If you're the kind of guy that just really wants to do his own service, you can go into our parts department and pick up your parts and go and do it yourself. If you're the kind of guy that may be a weekend farmer and just don't have the time to sit and tinker with your equipment, you can certainly call Clint, set up an appointment, bring it in, get your equipment fixed up, and get you ready to go.
Well, all of this, plus you have Red Max trimmers and blowers we haven't talked about.
That's correct.
Usually, if you're doing the lawn, you need some trimmers and blowers to spiffy it all up when you get through.
Oh, you got to get your edges all squared up and get your driveway blowed off. We'll get you fixed up.
Well, everything from weed eaters to hay balers at Absolute Kubota.
Come see us.
All right. And again, you'll be closed next weekend.
Next
on Memorial
Monday.
Day.
Yep.
It'll be 2 weeks before we talk to you again, but have 2 great weeks.
You too. I'll see
All
you
right.
then.
Thank you much. Don Hamlet with Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Again, Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, the whole 9 yards. We're 10 minutes after the hour, and I think we could call this a special program this morning. I want to welcome Sandy Anderson, who's the director of the Adult Learning Center. She's here with us this morning. Sandy, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And it's been a while since we've talked to you.
It has been, but we're happy to be here.
Well, we're going to be talking about your graduation coming up this Thursday evening, but a lot of other things too. And for those who might not know what we're talking about when we mentioned the Adult Learning Center, give us a little minute or two description of what it's all about, what you do, who it's for.
We have a variety of things that we can offer from the Adult Learning Center. Our main priority, of course, is to help those who don't have a high school diploma get their high set or their high school equivalency diploma, but we can do so many more other things as well. We also have an ESL program, which are free English classes. That's been a really big classes for us this year. We also teach in the jail. We help those that are in the jail get their high set diploma. We teach digital literacy classes. We have a basic literacy class. We help those that are going back to college if they need a little bit of touch up on their math or need help studying for their HESI test or their ASVAB. Whatever it is that they might need, we try to help them get their adult education classes.
Sandy, I understand you pretty much operate the year round, but maybe a little bit lighter during the summer break or when school is out for a lot. I guess you're not as busy, maybe, or have as many people participating in June and July. Would that be right?
Yes, sir, that is correct. We do offer our English classes during the summer, but our high set classes, they are only online. We also have online classes, and that's what operates during the summer for our high set classes.
You have a lot that do online year round?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We actually have a lot that choose to participate online as opposed to coming in face to face.
Okay, you have a graduation every year at the end of May, and I've attended that a number of times over the years. It's really a special time for these people who have finally got their high school equivalency, and a lot of people, a lot of family turn out for this. So let's talk a minute about that. It's coming up this Thursday, May 25th. At Fairview Church, and that's where it's been for a number of years.
Yes, sir, that's right. This is our favorite time of the year. We love our graduation ceremony. It's a time for us to get together with our students who have worked hard throughout the year, a time of celebration. It's something really special for us.
Well, we've got somebody here we'll wait a list after our break to introduce, but a student who's got a story to tell, no doubt, and we've heard a few of those from time to time. They're always good to find people who have maybe had a rough spot in their life to overcome and come through and get their high school equivalency, and it means a lot. And for one thing, almost any job anymore requires a high school diploma or equivalency, right?
Yes, sir, it does. And that's one of the reasons we're so excited about our program. It helps those that need a little bit of a hand up. And we have been told that a person that receives their high set diploma will average about $10,000 more per year with their salary. So that is another reason. A lot of people just want want to come back and get their diploma because of self-satisfaction, but others need it for a job.
Right. Okay, well, this, what this going to be? Typical graduation ceremony, but describe it a little bit for us, and we'll take a break.
Okay, yes, sir. We are going to be at Fairview Church on Thursday night around 7 o'clock. And we will have our students there. We think we'll have between 50 and 60. Not everybody participates in the walk. However, we'll have a big group there with their families cheering them on. We like to say that, pretend like you're winning the lottery when they walk past. It's a great celebration. They're very excited.
Do you have a special speaker for the occasion?
We do. His name is Francis Garcia, and he is going to be a great inspirational speaker.
All right. And of course, anybody's invited to attend this if they want. Sometimes you have standing room only.
Yes, sir.
It depends. And I believe you told me you've got 50 or 60 that'll probably be there and walk across the stage.
Yes, sir. Our last test is actually today. We're still trying. Those students are trying to get in that graduation. So we have a high set test today at the ATC here in Lebanon. And we had one, a test came up today, especially because we had so many people wanting to get in the graduation.
Well, so it could be a few more.
A few more, we hope.
Okay, we're gonna take a break right here. This is Coleman and Company up at 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Big sales blitz going on now. 0% financing for 84 months on most models. Plus, add an attachment to your tractor. Get implement bonus bucks up to $800 off, or take a cash discounts of $2,400 on select models. This is for in-stock models only, and the sales blitz will end May 31st. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. As that traffic volume really starts to increase as we check it out live. 24 westbound through the Hickory Hollow area coming in from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro. It's busy as expected. 65 south here at Trinity Lane. Steady flow of traffic building through the Mount Juliet area as that traffic leaves Wilson County on I-40 going westbound headed towards Nashville. Nash Painting. They are number one in Middle Tennessee in residential and commercial painters. Check out their website today, nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Get ready for the ultimate barbecue and country music festival, Barbecue Country Fest 2023. Join us in the smoke-filled, fire-breathing, steak-sizzling heaven on June 3rd at the Wilson County Fairgrounds in Lebanon. Hear country music stars Billy Dean, Chad Brock, and Andy Griggs perform live. Plus, John Party will be there filming the final episode of Barbecue Country and crowning a backyard barbecue champion. Get your tickets today at bbqcountry.com.
Exmark builds mowers that deliver a perfect cut in less time. Because we believe what you get out of your lawn, not your mower, is what matters most.
Find signature cut quality, comfort, and reliability. Exmark's Laser Z is the zero-turn more landscape pros trust. Find attractive financing and the Exmark that's right for you at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon.
Exmark, official mowers of the backyard life.
And we continue here on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. Sandy Anderson, Director of Adult Learning Center here in Lebanon, is with us. We have a special guest we're going to introduce in just a moment. Your Adult Learning Center, where is that for people who might not know?
Yes, sir. We are here in Lebanon at 415 Harding Drive. It's the new ATC building. It was the old Lebanon High School, but ironically, we're going to be moving soon to a new location. It's the old Board of Education building on Stumpy Lane. That's going to be our new home at where BTA is currently located.
Okay. Well, I hadn't heard about that.
It was very sudden, and we're really excited. It's going to be a great move for us.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you introduce your student who has accompanied you today, and he has a story we're going to get him to tell.
I would be honored. I would love to introduce to you Xander King.
Hello, hello.
He's one of our students that came last year, I believe in...
Last year, back in August, beginning
right.
of August.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you didn't graduate from high school, I take it.
So I was a senior when I came to the program. So what happened was we moved to Tennessee. And unfortunately, because of that, the credits, as far as high school standings were not necessarily aligned with Wilson County's requirements. Wilson County's requirements were higher than what I had at the moment. And so what that would mean, so if I were still where I moved from, I would graduate. But what that would mean down here would be I would have to take, probably summer school or have to do some sort of extra classes, which I didn't necessarily want to do that. And so eventually I ended up finding out about the program, and I made the ultimate decision to go over to that and went from there, took the high set, and that's all finished. Now I'm on to other things.
What went into your decision not to do it this way?
So
you have some business pursuits or something?
Yes. So I do have business pursuits, but the decision that went into that, I weighed my options. I thought about just staying in the primary school and having to do the extra whatnot and going through that route. But then there were other options that came across. I can't really recall off the top of my head. This one just seemed like the ultimate option because I could, take the high set test, get my high school equivalency, and move on from there and go on to other things.
How long did it take you and how difficult was it? I've got an idea it wasn't all that difficult for you.
Xander is one of our smarter students.
So all in, it took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So Xander is a good example that it doesn't have to take a really long time. He is a brilliant student and has a lot of things going for him. So he essentially came in and took a lot of the practice tests and then just studied a little bit, brushed up on some specific math skills, but he is such a bright student. It didn't take him long at all.
Are you going to be in the graduation this Thursday?
I am.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What are you planning to do, or what are you already involved in, if you want to talk about it?
So this I'm going to have to be a little vague with because some things are up in the air and development and whatnot. But in the future, or as of right now, I am working on several business ventures. I'm very entrepreneurial minded. So one of the big ones I will say is I'm working on eventually starting my own record label for music and things like that. I'm a musically inclined man, so that's one of the things that
you start your own record label. You're going to be looking for people to record, to have songs or whatever you're recording, but usually that's what it is, some sort of music.
So my plan with that is I'm already building up things because I already produce music. I sell things like, beats and stuff to artists who need them and want to use them. I lease them out or sell them to them for, a premium. And I'm already growing somewhat of an audience. So my plan is to leverage that to eventually start my own record label once I, feel.
What's attracted you maybe to the music business? I mean, this is more business. It sounds like we're talking about than singing talent and that sort of thing.
So, ever since I could remember, even back to like maybe my earliest memories, I was always kind of messing around with musical instruments, plunking around on the piano and whatnot. And, over the course of my life, I did several things. I played, orchestras. I've played several different instruments. Piano is one of my best ones. I'm self-taught on that. I had like a small amount of lessons, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, it was mainly me being self-taught, and then I eventually moved on to that. But over time, I started learning more things, and it eventually led to me getting into the mixing and mastering audio type thing. I'm very proficient at mixing audio and whatnot, and so I do my own stuff. Like I'm working on songs myself, and Music has just been a natural thing for me. So
You play instruments.
I do.
You mix the music and
I do.
Make it sound right on the recording.
I do.
And love to do it.
I do.
And experiment a lot, I'll bet.
And actually quite a bit. Yeah.
So what would be the ultimate for you?
Oh, the ultimate. Well, once again, start my own label and
Have a big hit record.
have
for
a big
somebody?
have a big hit record for someone, myself included, because I'm also working on being a music artist. So yeah, that would be where I would go for the ultimate.
Well, do you feel your as far as location goes, this close to Nashville, Music City, USA? Will you stay in this area, or are there other places you might go, like New York or LA or Muscle Shoals?
Nowadays, while location can play a factor, I mean, I'm near Nashville, but that's actually going to change very soon. But I can honestly, location, yes, it does play some of a factor, but as long as I play my cards right, I can advertise my stuff pretty well and get it out there in the online space.
Okay, well,
So-
I can tell you know a lot more about this than I do. Hopefully, I can ask an intelligent question or two. But this is your ambition, this is your desire, and it's what you're already well on the way to doing. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Interesting story here, and I've never heard of anybody though doing the high school equivalency for the reason that you have done. But everybody's got their own story, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got about 4 minutes left here, Sandy. Anything you want to tell us again? I think we might mention here, although the people might not be starting this here in June and July, but if there are people for whatever reason need their high school equivalency, you're a good place to start and have a lot of information. And I know you can help them. I'm sure you probably, Sander, didn't need a lot of help, but it's still you need to be kind of pointed in the right direction. So
Yeah.
I imagine you got all the help from them that you
Oh
needed.
yeah, they were super helpful.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've been hearing all these years from you. You do anything and just about everything you can to help people achieve their goal.
We do. If you need our help, you can reach out and call us at 615-443-8731. One of the things that Xander is being modest about this morning, but he has a lot of different ambitions, and one of those, he is starting his digital
It's a digital marketing agency, basically.
Yes, why I wanted to mention that is that we also can help our students with a lot of different work-based skills, such as a Google IT program, and in the different classes that we offer, we also can have them take digital marketing. And so, talking to Xander earlier, he's got a lot of interest, and that's one of them. So tell us a little bit about that, Xander.
Oh boy, this one I'm going to have to be especially vague about, as it's still in the works and kind of on a hold for a moment while certain things in my life go through. But yeah, basically I'm building an agency, if you will. It's not a brick and mortar, so it's online. What we're going to do is we're essentially going to go in and, find businesses that, have a certain amount of revenue to invest back into their business. And basically, they would hire us, air quotes, to come in and be their marketing people. So we would, do the content, and we would get the clients in. If they're, a client-based business, we would get the sales. And so basically increase their return on investment by, quite a significant amount. But yeah, that's the general rundown of it. It's still in the works, so.
Okay. All right. Well, one more time, graduation Thursday, May 25th for the Adult Learning Center, and at least 60, maybe
We
more,
hope.
gonna
We
be
hope.
going. And everybody's invited, of course, at Fairview Church out on Leeville Pike, near Hartman Drive. I forget what I think the official address is Leeville Pike.
It is. It's 1660 Leeville Pike, and that's Fairview Church.
All right, and this starts promptly at 7?
7 o'clock.
All right. Well, it's been nice to have you here to remind everybody about this and what you're all about, Sandy. But Xander, you've got a lot in the works, and all I can do is say we wish you well.
Thank you.
And thanks for being with us this morning. Well, Sandy, you're gonna be moving as you've been, and that's the first I'd heard about that this morning. But out on Stumpy Lane, when's that going to take effect?
I believe that we're going to start moving next week.
Yeah.
So it was a very quick decision, and we're really excited about it.
Graduation will be this Thursday night. Next week, you're going to be moving, and people will be coming there to do their high school equivalency and learn and do the things they've been doing at the other location.
That's right.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us
Thank
this
you,
morning.
Coleman.
Sandy Anderson, Director, Adult Learning Center. Xander King, who's one of the students. And that is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more right here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $59.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. Tire rotation is safety check. 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. As that traffic volume really starts to increase as we check it out live, 24 westbound through the Hickory Hollow area coming in from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro. It's busy as expected. 65 south here at Trinity Lane. Steady flow of traffic building through the Mount Juliet area as that traffic leaves Wilson County on I-40 going westbound headed towards Nashville. Nash Painting, they are number one in Middle Tennessee in residential and commercial painters. Check out their website today, nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
Waking up to some cloudy skies this morning, but rain chances are staying pretty minimal. Temperatures climbing through the 50s and 60s early on, heading for a high of 82 this afternoon. Look for lows back in the mid-50s this evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two here on a Monday morning. You know Mondays, if you're our regular listener, you know who's here every Monday at this time, and I'm talking about Billy Mullinax, General Manager, Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is good to see you always, and we'll remind everybody next Monday, Memorial Day, I won't be here, you won't be here.
I won't be here.
So we won't see you for 2 weeks.
That's exactly right.
But what about next Monday at Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram? You be open?
Sales will be open. Parts and service will be closed next Monday, but sales will be there regular hours. And
is Memorial Day usually I guess it's got to be good enough if you keep the doors open and you keep.
Yeah, it's normally a good day, Coleman. Normally a good day. People are out. People are off, and they're getting out to. You know, it's kind of the beginning of vacation season, as you know, and some
people's definition of summer is Memorial Day to Labor Day.
That's right,
and that's not a bad definition.
It's not. It's really not. That's what we used to always say. It seems like things have changed a little bit over time, and. People's schedules are a little different, but to me, that's still summer.
Yeah. Well, Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is located at 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. You've been there how many years?
We've been there since February of 2017, Coleman. So a little over 6 years now.
And going strong, and you've been the general manager all that time, haven't you?
Yes.
And even before
when we were
in Lebanon.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, what's on your mind this morning? I mean, you want to sell cars, you want to take care of people, you want people to know your location on the easy side of Mount Juliet.
Well, Coleman, inventory, we keep talking about that every week, but it is increasing. You know, on a weekly basis almost. We've got, as far as on the ground right now, we've got about 160 new vehicles, and then we've got over 200 pre-owned vehicles. So we've got a great selection. You know, May through August is a really busy time for us. And so we've increased our inventory both in new and pre-owned just to have the selection that people will be looking for.
Well, that's good to hear, because the bigger selection, the better you can please somebody. With more to choose from, they're more likely to find what they're really looking for. And I'm guessing in the last year and a half or so, 2 years, people haven't had as big a choice, and some people probably weren't as satisfied as they would like to have been with what there was to choose from.
Well, that's exactly right. They had to settle for what they could find sometimes, and not always really exactly what they wanted, but things are getting back you know, to where you may not find the exact thing that you're looking for, but you can get awful close a lot of times. And then, you know, if we don't have what you're looking for and you're not in a dire emergency as far as needing a vehicle, we can always order a vehicle for you. And you know, the time frame for that varies a little bit, but it's getting back more to in line with that 2 to 3 months that we used to be able to safely always say. Some vehicles are a little more than that now, depending on what it is, but many times we can get them in that that 3 month time frame.
Well, we always remind people every Monday that you can see that entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars at MountJulietCDJR.com.
I see your neighbor there, Coleman.
MountJulietCDJR.com. Yes, might see your neighbor.
Might see your neighbor.
You were talking about the sales department open next Monday, but everybody else is closed, which I guess we could talk a little bit about your service department, which I think you're about as equally proud of that as you are your salespeople.
Well, of course, you service a whole lot more customers than what you sell as far as on a monthly basis or yearly basis. Sales certainly become service customers just about all the time, but you know, our service department really, and that's a tough department, Coleman, in all honesty. It's the sales side is way easier because everybody likes getting that new vehicle, but most of the time we're not as excited to spend money on what we've already got.
I hadn't heard it put exactly like that, but absolutely, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so it's a harder side of the business, but our people do a great job at taking care of people, and you know, typically we can get people in a reasonably quick time period. You know, today you hear so many when you call for an appointment at a service department, you know, 2 to 4 weeks is not uncommon, Coleman, and we typically can get people in within a week or 10 days to get their vehicle diagnosed, and then depending on parts availability, because there's still some issues with that when it comes to fixing vehicles. We've got a lot of vehicles there right now that we're just waiting on parts because of the shortage of those. But
and that's not your fault in any manner, shape, or form.
That's exactly right. And best way that you can explain that to people is that you know, till we get the part and get your vehicle fixed, we don't get paid. So there's no advantage to us of not getting that part in.
Yeah. Well, but you do a lot of service work, and you have some fine people there.
Yes,
a lot
we
of them
do.
have been with you for a while, I think.
Yes, they have. In fact, just about all of our technicians have been there for quite some time. Will Daly, who is our service manager, he's been there over 3 years with us now, and does a fantastic job. And so yeah, they do a wonderful job for us and take good care of those people after the sale. And then even if you didn't buy it from us, we're happy to take care of them anyway.
All right. Your sales department's open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. The service department is what?
7 to 6.
7 to 6. So they still got some.
And then Saturday, 8 to 3.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, have a great 2 weeks here, and we will see you hopefully 2 weeks from today.
See you in 2 weeks.
Talk about June and what's coming up then.
All right. Thanks, Coleman.
All right. Billy Mullinax, he's general manager for Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. And I'll tell everybody it is 21 and a half minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour. And I have a guest here for part 2 this morning, and an event that is coming up in July that we're going to be talking about. And I want to introduce my friend John Jewell, who is in charge of the Jazz Festival in Watertown. John,
morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you. Good to have somebody to talk to.
Well, it's
I
nice.
see you have brought somebody else that I know quite well.
Glenn Martin.
Going to be with us. Glenn Martin is here as well. Jazz Festival, when we think of Watertown, that's one of the things we think. The Mile Long Yard Sale and the Watertown Jazz Festival.
That's
the
right.
two things Watertown's very well noted for. You'll agree with that one.
I will agree with that. We hope that's what it does for us. That's the intent.
When is it this year?
15th of July.
Is it? Do you have a particular weekend that it falls on usually?
Yes, kind of in that general area. We don't really specify a particular week, but the middle of July is what we like to shoot for.
Well, you're already working on it, working diligently to get a good lineup this year. And Glenn, let me say good morning to you and welcome again.
Good morning. Thank you.
And how are you?
I'm doing well.
You keeping John straight?
Well, John, he probably keeps me straight.
Well, good to have you both here. You have a lot to do with the selection of musicians who come to the Jazz Festival. You have a lot of input with John on that, don't you?
Generally, I'm referred to as a music director. I mean, I know a lot of the musicians, but it's kind of a team effort, though. John is probably more familiar with Larry Carlton, our headliner, than I am. He knows his recordings more than I do. But I get on the phone and call their agents and that sort of thing. And then the local groups, most of the bands we have are local area.
Yeah.
And I have contacts. I either know them or have contacts. So I get on the phone and book them. And so we try to have a diversified group of people.
Well, it's been a lot of good stories, to a lot of successes with the Jazz Festival, the different people that you have had. I guess two of my biggest memories, I'd have to say, and I don't know which one I'd put first. Maybe Boots Randolph when he came,
Yes.
but Maynard Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
The two of them are probably the two I remember the most.
Maynard Ferguson was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we had Ellis Marsalis one year, too.
Well, what's this year look like?
It's 9 acts. Jerry Cran's Fat Tuesday Dixieland starts it off at 1. The Jazz Alliance Big Band at 2. 3 o'clock, it's Pat Coyle Quartet. Pat Coyle was a pianist for Woody Herman years ago in the Herd, the big band, if you're familiar with that, and then the Establishment Big Band, a fine group. We've had them before. The Establishment, I guess, Glenn, you could say they've been affiliated with Vanderbilt over the years, University, and they're having John Fedchuk. He's a trombonist. We were very fortunate to become involved with KHS America. They're a music instrument manufacturer, and they are headquartered in Mount Juliet, very big outfit. And he is one of their entertainers that use their their equipment, their instruments, and so they covered the cost for him to come and play with the establishment. And then Bob McChesney, also a very well-known trombonist, the Nashville Jazz Orchestra. Monica Ramey, she played with the B.G. Adair group. B.G. passed away last year, a pianist. She was quite popular in Japan for several years, lived from Cave City, Kentucky, believe it or not. The Van Treese family, kind of a regular from Watertown, and we always have them there. And then Larry Carlton is our featured act, and he's the most expensive act that we have, probably the most expensive act we've ever had.
Well, I think there's some things that never change about this. I don't think you've ever charged admission.
No.
And you don't plan to start this year.
Not at all.
That's something that is to your credit and to those who have put this on, but it's primarily been you, I think, over the years. I know you took a little time off there, and maybe the name of it was changed a little bit, but there's been something like this going on for a long time. You and Sharon McComb pretty much started this.
Sharon was invaluable. She kept me straight. She had a drive that just you could get things done with Sharon. She was just that way.
First year, what the first year was?
No, I don't. It's about, Coleman, it's about 30 years old.
Well, 96, I believe.
Is it 96? Glenn has been with us almost from the beginning as well.
Yeah, I think I played on between the acts on the first one.
Did you really?
I'm a guitar player now. We were kind of interlude music.
Anyway, this is coming up July. This would be
the 15th. July 15th.
Okay, that would be the third. 1 and 7 is 8 and 7. That's the third Saturday in July.
Yes, it is.
All right, third Saturday.
And one thing we need to bring up that's important: we are moving it actually off the square this year. It will be. It's just right at the square. The Wilson Bank and Trust lot there, where the drive-through is. It's a rather large tract of land. Actually, the south end of that tract was donated to the city by the Wilson Bank, and we will be putting the stage in there. Trees, it's a little more comfortable, and it frees the square up. There's still going to be, I understand there's going to be some crafts and things going on up there, but you just cross the street and you're on the square, and we'll probably block off Depot Street there. And then there'll be a food court down along the railroad track, actually where the original rail station stood, and the Delmonico Winery is down there, and we're closer to where folks offload from the train.
Well, this is going to be a little bit different, but I can see, honestly, I can see an improvement in this.
We think so. There are a couple of reasons that we moved it. We want to see how it's going to work, A, and B, we've for many years we've been interested in a 3-part concert series, a jazz festival, a gospel music show like Elmer Hinton had at Alexandria, the Nashville Banner, and and then a country show.
Yeah,
and you just can't do 3 events like that on the square. It just asks too much of the business community to do that, and so we're very interested in seeing how well this works to possibly do that.
Okay, we're talking the Jazz Festival. We'll talk more after we go to this break on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they've got a sales blitz going on. 0% financing for 84 months on most models, plus add an attachment to your tractor. Get implement bonus bucks up to $800 off, or take a cash discount of $2,400 on select models. This is for in-stock models only. Sales blitz will end May 31st. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's still a couple of accidents out here. One in Madison that still has it tied up at Myatt Drive at State Route 45. That one had some injuries earlier out there in the 3800 block at Council Pike in that section of Hermitage. As traffic increases even more down I-40 coming in from the Mount Juliet area, still heavy 24 westbound at Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway, with all that heavy push of traffic still coming in from Murfreesboro. Hey, it's that time to call Crest Pest Control. These guys do way more than just your average pest control Control Company. Check out all of their services at crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, it's Peyton Aldridge from The Voice. I'll be performing my new single, American Backyard, at the Ultimate Barbecue and Country Music Festival, Barbecue Country Fest 2023, June 3rd at Wilson County Fairgrounds. There will be plenty of food trucks, bourbon, and beer tasting, live music, and free parking, so get your tickets today at bbqcountry.com. You're in barbecue country, y'all.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Monday morning. We're talking Watertown Jazz Festival. John Jewell and Glenn Martin are my guests. Now, it's a little while before this is going to take place, the 15th of July, and here we are on the 22nd of May, so it's a little less than 2 months away. But I think one thing you'd like to do is to call people's attention to it, get the word out.
Yes.
But also, you always have a number of people who help you in the area here, businesses who are sponsors, and some give a little, some give a lot, but you get the job done.
The budget is north of $76,000 this year. It's up about 10 or 15 from last. And last year, 107 donors gave about 60,000. We're up about 15,000 over last year, and it's a challenge to come up with it. But were it not for Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Watertown, and even some of the surrounding counties donating, we couldn't put this on.
Well, now, are you? I think you are mainly the person that knocks on the doors and keeps this money coming in.
I guess I'm what I'd call a street beater. You know, there are 9 on this committee. Glenn and I are members, and all of them have contacts, know people, and touch people that I can't, and that so they're the actual fundraising. It's really about 9 or 10 people that raise the money.
Do you have any particular ones that kind of stand out, or are really big donors that you want to mention?
Middle Tennessee Electric, Wilson County Motors. Cumberland has been very instrumental in helping us.
Cumberland University.
Yeah. The market, the grocery store there in Watertown has been very, very helpful. There are several $1,000 donations, $5,000 donations, things of that type. The tiers of donors are $100, $250, $500, $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, and above.
Yeah.
And the gas company, Middle Tennessee Natural Gas, is a big donor for us, and so that's basically. And we've got tons of $100 donors. Yeah, it's just really that way.
Well, I'm thankful to have been one of them, and you can count me in for another.
Good.
We have to do what we can afford.
Let me say one other thing that I left out a minute ago, and then Glenn, I know, wants to talk about our lead act. Another thing that we wanted to move out of there for is we have contemplated also another thing of a 2-day event. We did that for 2 or 3 years once, didn't we?
Several years.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
4 or 5.
It's very hard to do that on the square. You got to open the streets up, reset it up. You got to make sure your food booths aren't in a lane of traffic and all that. And so we decided if we ever wanted to do it again, we had to have a better location. And that would give us that ability. We're not going to do it next year, trust me, but we are also looking at that possibility as well.
Well, one other thing here, because you did mention two other concerts, and of course, I guess they'd be at different times of the year, but
Yes.
gospel music
Yes.
and country music. Are you working on that? Is there somebody else that will?
No, you know, we had a thing called the Watertown Hoedown for several years, and that was a country music show, and it got canceled. And we had a group interested in doing the gospel show. It gravitated around the principal interest came from one of the song directors at one of the churches there, and he moved from the church. And so the idea, I told him, they called me, and I said, I can't. If I do the one I do, I'm lucky. Somebody else will have to pick up the part, but we can certainly get together and corroborate what we do.
But if somebody is interested in those other two,
absolutely,
you will be glad to lend what you have learned to it. But you're not going to be out here beating the bushes for
yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Glenn, you want to tell us more here?
Well, if any of you out there are guitar players or pickers, you definitely want to come hear Larry Carlton. He has had 4 Grammy wins and 19 nominations. He has been on at least 3,000 albums as a backup musician. Plus, he has his own albums. And he is just a real influence and name in the business. And another thing I'd like to say about the festival in general is that we are trying to bring quality music to the area. These people are superior musicians. All of the groups are.
Yes.
Like the Nashville Jazz Orchestra is the best studio players and some of the best college teachers in the area. If you have a child or a student that is interested in music, I strongly suggest that you bring them to this festival just to let them hear what can be done on the instruments. And just if we got time, of course, Carlton is, again, if you're a guitar player, be there. And we, of course, have the Van Treeses, which we've traditionally had. Monica Ramey. Last time I was listening to the cable, you know how they have the radio stations on the cable, something you can listen to on your television. I heard her. She was on there. She's nationally known. And again, I told you about the Nashville Jazz Orchestra already. Bob McChesney is a super trombone player, as is John Fedchock. And
they're nationally known.
Yes. The establishment is actually changed the venue. They're going a little bit more to serious jazz than the old swing style, but they're an excellent group. Pat Coyle is just a monster player. He's toured in Japan, South America, all over with Michael McDonald, Olivia Newton-John, Amy Grant, Vince Gill. He played with Larry Carlton also. He was Woody Herman's piano player. He played on and worked on Star Trek film scores, The Next Generation, Murphy Brown. He's played with Dionne Warwick and all these fantastic players. And he also has written some of the television
theme songs.
We might list who hadn't played with and get through quicker.
I'm sorry.
Kidding, of course, but that's quite a resume.
And Carlton will do a workshop, as all of our lead acts have over the years. He'll sit down and he'll talk about his career, his techniques, and anyone who is interested in sitting down. We'll have 35 or 40 people that will sit down with him for about an hour.
Yeah, that'll be at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's has always been good for the festival.
What time does this start?
It starts at 1 o'clock. We'll probably block things off, start getting things thrown together about noon, 11:30 on that morning to get things in shape.
Again, we are talking about the 15th of July.
Let me say one other thing.
Right.
All of these entertainers, they're everywhere on music. People don't realize, we always think of Nashville as country music, and it is. It's monster down there. But what is really a monster is the recording industry. Every kind of music imaginable is recorded down there, and all of these guys, so many of them, are studio performers. They play backgrounds. That's where Floyd Kramer got started.
Yeah.
That's where Chet Atkins, the Modern Airs, Jordan Airs, the Anita Kerr Singers. That was the Nashville sound. And that's what these people are.
Yeah, they
Well,
back
sounds
up.
like you've got a great lineup, and no doubt, Glenn, you have played a large role in getting all this done. And John, the brunt of it seems to be on your shoulders. If anybody else wants to be a part of this, be a sponsor, what's the best way to contact you or to do what
You can contact me, John Jewell. It's 615-202-6651. You could call the Chamber of Commerce. This is sponsored by the Watertown Chamber of Commerce. We work for the Chamber, the Jazz Festival Committee. There are about 9 of us, and you could call me, or you can call the Chamber number, or you can go on watertownjazz.com and contact watertownjazz.com. Very simple.
Well, any kind of donation be appreciated. You mentioned different levels of sponsorship, but if $100 is all you can do,
I get several $50 ones, and I look at it this way: 10 100s is 1,000, and that's the way it works.
John Jewell knows his math. Well, we hope to have you back again closer to the event. But
we'd like to, if it's available to us. Yes,
I think we will. I have noticed one thing. I got to hurry here. If it's a political year, the crowd is usually bigger.
Anything in a political year is bigger.
This is not, but it's going to be a great show, and thank you all for being here. We'll have you back closer to July 15th. Talk about.
We always appreciate WA&T working with us.
John Jewell, Glenn Martin, and that's it for a Monday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. And until then, I wish you a magnificent day.